Welcome back to Great Day. Our next guest found herself in a cycle of homelessness over a span of 17 years. The Salvation Army provided her a safe place to call home and taught her the skills she needed to get back on her feet and stay there. Here to share her story is Loretta Ray, along with Major Zach Bell with the Salvation Army of Greater Houston. Good morning.
Good morning.
Major Bell, we've joked about before with the last name Bell, because they're in the Bell campaign right now. That he had no choice, but this is in your DNA as well.
Yeah, I grew up in the Salvation Army, and so with that, just been able to see how the Army helps so many, and I was called then to be a part of this ministry as well. And so I love being able to be a part of an Army that really wants to be that safe place for someone to fall apart, that safe place for someone to put their life back together, that safe place which helps people realize their true potential.
Yeah. And there's thousands of stories. We've heard some great testimonials over the last week or so, and there are thousands of them. You and I keep running into each other at various events, but the interesting thing is, no one, when you run into somebody, you don't know your backstory. No. And for you, it just says that homelessness can look like anything on anybody, depending on what set of circumstances you're faced with. You started out just kind of with some instability growing up.
Yes. So I grew up in a home where my mother, who God rest her soul, she's been gone now for 3 years, but she changed her life around and was sober when she passed away. But during that time, when I was 14, our living environment was very abusive. She was addicted to crack cocaine at the time, and so to me, being on the streets was a better option than being in that household. Yeah. But I was not up for what was out there in the streets. Drugs.
Sometimes the drugs is just to deal with everyday life, right?
Exactly, and you can just imagine, being on the streets right now as an adult is hard. Yeah. Just imagine being 14 years old.
I can't.
And so, but we all have choices.
Yeah.
We have choices, and
it's a journey almost to figure out, okay, at one point the most powerful person in your life is you.
Right.
But you have to have that help out there, and this is the thing. We've done a better job, Major Bell, of connecting the dots in terms of how to help our homeless population. And it's not about just having a place to stay.
That's right.
It's beyond that part. So explain to people, like, what we're paying for is not just a place to stay, but giving them the skill set to always be okay in a home.
That's right. And so at the Salvation Army, while we will provide housing for 42% of our whole population that are experiencing homelessness, it's not just a shelter, it's not just that safe place, but we're giving them the tools through classes, through case management, through coaching, to help nudge them into that right direction, to once again recognize just what God's made them to be.
Yeah.
And they get to live that out, because we believe that homelessness is curable.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, and I can only imagine, I've mentioned over and over again, I spent 2 weeks on the streets living homeless to get a bird's eye view, a little bit better of what that was like. And even in that 2-week period, how it impacted my soul, how it impacted me, it was crazy. And you got to start focusing on, I just need to eat and I need to be safe when I spend the night, when I sleep. Yeah. That's all you could focus on. Right. When you come in to your program, you don't have to worry about that anymore, and all that stuff starts to peel off.
It does.
But it takes a minute, doesn't it?
It takes time. So I stayed at the Salvation Army, Sally's House, for 8 months. And then I went on to another program for a year to get that stability. So while there, I took budgeting classes, computer classes, because I didn't have any of those skills. And so I said, well, what is going to make the difference between me and someone else who doesn't have my story or my background? Right. And so for me, that was education. Yeah. And so I started going back to school. I was fortunate enough to run into an organization that paid for my way through school based on my story that I thought was a liability at the time.
But you know what? If you can survive on the streets, that is a hard worker. I'm going to tell you right now, that is the best employee ever, right?
Yes.
Right? You appreciate where you are.
I'm not half the woman that 14-year-old girl was today. I can't be out there today. Yeah. But what I can say is that they started off as that place for me to that safe place for me to fall apart.
Yeah. And then pick the right pieces to put back together again. So today, tell folks what you're doing.
So today, I am a master social worker and counselor.
And it's got to be so cool to be able to look somebody in the face and say, I know because I was there. I got it. You know, because people come in sometimes with a lot of shame and stuff as well. And you go, no, you can get here. Here is the other side of that. All right. So obviously this is something that doesn't cost money for the person going through the program, but it costs for you to provide these services.
That's right.
And this is a time of year where you have an opportunity to raise money.
Right. So those red kettles, again, that we've been talking about all season long go a long way, because that's our single largest fundraiser for the whole season and for the whole year. And we are so excited to say that all these days now leading up, we've only got a few, we're in single digits now leading up to Christmas, but every donation, whether you give it in those red kettles, online at kettlehtx.org, or at the red kettles themselves, will be matched up to $325,000.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So we're so excited.
Goal's $1 million, but trust me, every penny and then some is needed to get people through these programs. This Safest Place project is a musical charity project produced by Billy Dorsey, who has won a Grammy, a Stellar, or Dove Award, but he was also homeless at one time himself. There's a compilation of 5 songs. If you donate any amount to the Salvation Army, go online and donate, you'll receive that free download to one of the songs, the whole compilation. But right now, we want to, again, join the Salvation Army Red Kettle Challenge. Join that today. Donate your amount, and then you will get that free download. And there's the information right there, kettlehtx.org. Okay, so joining us for a live performance from the album is Nina Sims singing Lose My Faith.
They say that home is where the heart is, but where's home for the broken hearted? I lost everything that I've ever owned. All I have left is alone. They tell you never to say never, but what's left to say when you lose forever? Ground was holding me, and now it's gone. But to give in to despair, I got to believe tomorrow the sun will rise. 'Cause right now I need a reason to open my eyes. I'm overwhelmed. Life has taken all I can take. If there's one thing left to save, it's my faith. I heard it said life is full of second chances, but it seems I'm fresh out under these circumstances. It's looking like the end of my road, but I will not let go of hope. Ooh. Tears may stream freely down my eyes, but that's just a reminder that I'm still alive. Oh, and when life has knocked me down to my knees, I can look up, ready to receive. Oh, tomorrow the sun will rise. Oh, a reason to open my eyes. Oh, it's taking all it can take. If there's one thing left to save, it's my faith. I got to believe tomorrow the sun will rise. 'Cause right now I need to cry. I'm overwhelmed. Life has taken all it can take. If there's just one thing left to say. Please don't let them take away. Don't you let